Hey, beautiful souls, beautiful sunshine, here with the Yara Holistic Healer, aka Sonia B. So I am back with several different prophetic messages. I do want to say some of these messages are specific, and then some of these messages, take it how it resonates, okay? So if you feel like the message doesn't apply, then let it fly. But just because it may not be resonating right now at this exact moment does not necessarily mean that it may not resonate with you later down the road, because it depends on what part of the hemisphere of the world that you're in a sense, of whether the northern or the southern in a sense. I say all that to say that energy is fluid, and it can either be happening right now at this exact moment. It could be happening 3 months out, 6 months out, even to a year out. So keep that in mind as well too. Okay, so with that being said, let's go ahead and get into the message, okay? So the first message that I saw was the Most High is basically having people to address their jealousy, okay? So there may be some people who may not necessarily who have been aware of their jealousy that they may have had, okay? But I say all that to say is almost like, imagine if the Most High is power washing your house, okay? So he's getting every nook and cranny on the inside of your house, like maybe cobwebs in the corner and all that other stuff. So therefore, that would be a representation of your unconscious mind. So therefore, it could be stored way deep down in that, in a sense of, not being in your conscious mind. So nevertheless, that's being brought up to the surface, okay? So the Most High is having people to address their jealousy, okay? In whatever shape or form. If you keep one thing in mind and remember that we all have our own individual paths that we're going to walk, and we all may find ourselves being successful in different ways, in a sense, and if we can accept that truth and not compare ourselves to others, then we can make our path a little bit more easier. But it's not unless we're comparing ourselves or we're being the crabs in a barrel, when one tries to get out, the other one's trying to pull them down. And that is not going to work for the Most High, okay? Because if you try to pull somebody else down, you're only pulling yourself down. And that energy only comes back at a person, in whatever shape or form that the Most High wanted to come in, whether it be threefold, tenfold, hundredfold, whatever, okay? That is totally up to him. But I say all that to say that remember that jealousy is a sickness, to be honest with you, because again, anytime you have any jealousy or any hatred towards somebody, that just lets you know that you have some inner healing that needs to be done, okay? That's deep down within the heart space. Some people are conscious of this and some people are unconscious of this, okay? Okay, so the next message I got, if you guys got teenage kids, and even if you don't have teenage kids, but if you're someone who's kind of short in height, and I say all that to say maybe somewhere like around about 5, let's say like 5'5" or 5'6" or something like that, just coming in that shape or form, okay? Just be mindful of those people. If you find yourself hanging out with people kind of around about this, and I even want to say somewhere around about the height of, is what's coming to mind, like somewhere between like 5'5" and even shorter than 5'5" or whatever, but even to like 5'7" is what's coming to mind. So be mindful of that. But anyway, the way I saw this is, it's almost like someone who is shorter. So let's just say this. Okay, thank you, Spirit. If you're someone around about the height of 5'7" or 5'10" or whatever the case may be, and let's just say you're hanging around people who are like 5'5" or 5'3" or 5'4" in a sense, be mindful of these type of people, because it's almost like, the way I got this was, it was almost like, and again, don't get upset with the messenger, I just delivered a message how it's being given to me. It's as it's energy to side eye, okay? And I say all that to say because it's a hidden agenda of why they kind of hanging around somebody who's, and not say it's being prejudiced or judgmental because somebody is short, somebody's tall, but in a sense, it's almost like, again, God knows all things, he sees all things, and he knows people's true intentions. So again, this message may not apply to everyone, but this is basically the Most High just trying to bring something to your awareness. So just be mindful of those people who's carrying this type of energy, and not only carrying this type of energy, but who may be kind of short in height, okay? Again, this is not no target towards short people. Again, if you don't have that mindset of having a hidden agenda, then this message isn't for you. But if you are someone who's short and you're hanging around with someone who is tall and you have a hidden agenda, this message is for you, okay? That's the point I'm trying to make. So the next message I received was, it's almost like this is coming in a form of, let's just say that if you were someone who had whether it's a family dynamic or whether it was I really feel like this is a family dynamic. And let's just say maybe that certain family members may have kind of pushed you out in a sense. Not only certain family members, but kind of like the whole world kind of pushed you out in a sense. And it's almost like now these people are recognizing and they're understanding that no, like this person was very valuable and this person is, how can I say it? What's coming to mind is a very important access in your life. Access in your life in a sense. So you don't realize, but when you push them out, that really affected you very hard. I just heard core hard. It really affected you core hard. But with you including this person back into your life, it's almost like it's changing your perspective on things. It's changing your mindset on things. And it's almost like they're including you now to like an even give and take. Okay? It's an even give and take. Anyway, so either it's a specific message or that some people maybe have had to experience. So the next message that I received was, again, I am not encouraging anyone. Let me say that first and foremost. I'm just only giving the message of how it was being given to me. But I'm not going to say this out loud. I'm just going to spell it. But I heard it sound like a Caucasian woman saying the K-I double L, okay, them. I don't know who she was talking about, but the Most High had basically given me that information because that's obviously a message that someone probably needs to hear. So if you hear somebody either shouting out those words or saying those words, then obviously that's a message for you in a sense. And basically, this is a situation that maybe the Most High is having you to address, in whatever shape or form. I'm not sure if this is just a confrontation of somebody just kind of speaking because of jealousy, again, out of their mouth in a sense, or because they have stored up hate in their heart. So again, it's just a matter of words of caution, or warning of caution, just to be mindful. That doesn't mean be fearful, but just to be mindful, okay? So just keep that in mind as well too. But you should also always move with caution in a sense, okay? Especially if you hear somebody, just as a means to protect yourself and create boundaries with other people, okay? So this next message, and again, I'm not encouraging that to anyone. I'm just saying what I heard, okay? So that's to let somebody know, again, as a warning. So if you hear somebody saying it or displaying it in a sense, of, they're being overly emotional and they saying these things, to just be mindful and be vigilant and, move with caution, okay? So the next message I received was, it was a song, and the song was by SWV, and the part that stood out the most was said, and my heart starts beating triple time with thoughts of loving on my mind. So I don't know who needs to hear that, but some of you, the way I'm hearing it is some of you are desiring love in a sense. Some of you heart space is being activated, okay? It's almost like, because if you have had experiences that have kind of hurt you or upsetted you, or you felt like harmed you in some sort of way, it's almost like the Most High is keep giving you situations to allow your heart to beat. Because if you think about like a defibrillator is there to kind of like pump your heart, to get it, get it running again. Where so many people have, not so many, but there have been a lot of people who have experienced a lot of hurt, a lot of pain, a lot of disappointment, a lot of, let's just say, not finding exactly what they've kind of like been looking for in a sense. And it's almost like the Most High is trying to reactivate their hearts in a sense, get it pumping, get it flowing again. So, you understand that, hey, that, that I do have something out there for you, okay? Because sometimes when we go looking for what it is that we want, God would allow you to exhaust yourself. He will allow you to run from one end of the earth to the other end of the earth, looking, seeking, looking under rocks, looking for love or whatever the case may be. And he was like, all you had to do was just come to me, But some people don't want to hear that because they want things instantly, quick, and they want it a microwavable, okay? Like a quick and instant relationship, a quick and instant love. But love takes time, because anything that is built on a solid and firm foundation, even if it takes time for, because sometimes the time is there, the time and space is there to create healing, so that way when people can come together, they can come together as one, okay? And be bonded like this, unlike just coming together and then you find yourself being unequally yoked, or you find yourself at friction and odds with each other, or end up resenting each other down the long run. So no, the Most High is going to make sure his love is definitely unconditional. He's going to make sure his love is healed. He's going to make sure it's healed on all aspects. He's going to make sure that from the top of your head down to the very soles of your feet, he's going to make sure that you heal from the inside out and don't leave no stone unturned, period. Okay, because that's how committed his love is. Because therefore, when he unites something, can't no man tear it apart. Okay, no man. Okay, so that's something to remember. You want the world's way of love, or do you want God's unconditional love in relationships? Okay, so this next message came through as if there could be possibly some divine masculines who are dealing with situations of, let's just say that maybe you may have experienced something lately, whatever shape or form that it could have come in, some disappointment, some hurt, some pain, again, as I said before. But it's almost like maybe for those who are divine feminines, some of your masculines who may have kids, you may have kids with, it's almost like they went in another direction in a sense of trying to seek something from someone else. But it's almost like the Most High is allowing them to see that, look, you can run, but you can't hide, okay? You will face yourself, because what you think you run into is not going to be your gratification, okay? Because I know what I have for you. And it's almost like he will allow you to run to what you think is going to be for, well, not necessarily for you. He will allow you to run to what you think is going to comfort you, but it's going to end up not comforting you. It's going to actually end up creating some resentment, some chaos, some confusion, and wreaking havoc on whatever relationship or whatever friendship it could be. Okay, so that's something to keep in mind. And basically what I just heard a second ago as I was speaking, it was closing out chapters, because, thank you, Spirit, because so many people are thinking that they're going to take people with them to the next level. And you have to understand this. When you have done the inner healing work, you cannot take everybody with you, because they're required by law spiritually to do the inner healing work. Okay, so when God said that everybody can't have a seat at your table, that is a true statement. Everybody cannot have a seat at your table. Okay, and I know sometimes that we want to take people with us in a sense, but he's like, no, they got to heal in order to go, because he's not going to allow anybody to be off court, or he want to make sure people are on one accord in a sense, and not the bickering, fiction, and the wreaking habit, and having one foot in the door and one foot out the door in relationships, whether friendships, co-workerships, or business ships. It doesn't matter. He want to make sure that it's on solid grounds. Okay, so you have to keep that in mind. He wants to make sure that you understand that you cannot take everybody with you, because again, you may have done the inner healing work, but other people have not. Okay, so there's something about trying to elevate somebody who has not done the inner healing work, and that would just cause more confusion, more chaos, more confusion and more chaos, and can wreak havoc in a sense. And that's why it's important to learn to let go. It's important to let go, okay? And it's important to let go. And this is why it's important to close out certain chapters and let go of certain people. Some of you were being divinely guided to cut off certain people or certain entities, or you don't realize, but this information is coming from the Most High. He has what he has in place, okay? And some of you guys are just fighting against that in a sense, because it's almost like, I just heard, like, you want to hold on to the old life, or you want to cling on to what feels comfortable and what feels familiar. But until it's like dropping the mic. That's what God wants you to do. Drop the mic is just what I heard. Okay. So anyway, this next message came through, and it's almost like some of you guys are going to find yourself exploring astrology a little bit more. That's what I heard. Okay. So just be mindful, because I did do a message over on TikTok. If you guys want to explore that video, in a sense, I'm wearing this same color or whatever, but if you guys want to explore that video, give me between today or whenever you get this video, or probably like a week later, or you could just check or whatever. But I say all that to say that some people are going to find themselves exploring astrology or whatever, but just be mindful of people who you're getting astrology readings from, and things like that, because just a little heads up, I have experienced situations to where I see that some of these people in the New Age community, they have crossed some boundaries. Okay, I'm not talking about all, I just said some, and it's important to know how that was part of my lesson. I had to learn that. So I say all that to say that it's a matter of moving with your intuition and not just moving with, oh, these people seem like they're like me in a sense. Oh, they think like me. No, because sometimes it can come off as that, and it depends on what type of planetary shift that we are in at that moment. Whether we are in Pluto's energy, Neptune creates illusions in a sense. So therefore, if we want to see the good in people, so sometimes we may see the good, but then when that planet goes direct, it's almost like you see their true nature, what is, whether it's corrupt or whatever the case may be. So those are just, this shit is real, okay? This is stuff they won't teach you in school, although they talk about the planets in school, and they should teach that, but they don't teach that because they don't want you to be informed on that, okay? Anyway, so the next message I received was, but I do want to say again, just be mindful of who you're giving your information to, because again, some of these astrologers are psychics and they're reading energy or picking up on energies, and sometimes there have been situations of them crossing boundaries in a sense. So be mindful of that, okay? That's all I'm telling you. Anyway, so the next message came through in a song, and the song was, I forgot who sang this song. Let's hear it for the boys. What was it? Let's hear it for the man. My baby, he may not be fun, but he's worth every dime. But he loves me. My baby, he may be. Oh God, forgive me, y'all. Anyway, so you know what I'm talking about. Let's hear it for the boys. Let's hear it for the boys. My man may not be rich, but he's worth every dime. No. Whatever. Anyway, you know what I'm talking about. Let's hear it for the boys or whatever. I didn't get the person who sung the song. I didn't get a chance to do that. So anyway, I just want to bring that to your attention. That was the last message, okay? Anyway, so I have two quick scriptures. One is Hebrew 11:1. It says, now faith is the assurance of things hoped for, the conviction of things not seen. So therefore, when we hope, we're hoping in return for something that we can physically see. So therefore, we can hope all day long, okay? It's the evidence of things not seen. So this is the type of mindset that the Most High pretty much wants us to be in a sense. Like when you ask for something and know and believe that even though you may have to wait, you may have to hold on for a little bit, or you may have to feel like you having to experience all of this and experience all that. Don't lose hope, because, okay, again, hope is the evidence of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen, okay? So we're hoping to hope it into existence, if that makes sense. And this other message came through today, which is Hebrews 12:1, and it says, therefore, since we are surrounded by great a cloud of witnesses, okay? It says, let us also lay aside every weight, okay? So when God is having us to heal our trauma in a sense, and that's why I said that everybody cannot go with us. So God wanted you to lay the weight of carrying everybody else on your shoulders, okay? I say all that to say, which is funny because I'd actually injured my right shoulder some years ago, didn't realize that when I injured it, I was carrying the weight on my shoulder, okay? And I say all that to say I had to release that weight. When I released my weight, off my shoulders of just having the worlds on my energetically having the world on my shoulder, it felt so much lighter. I was able to heal my shoulder, even though I had shoulder surgery, which did not help me. And what really helped me is when I had went more so into the new age community, doing yoga or doing things like that, and really just kind of working through my trauma in a sense, okay? So what I didn't know was when I injured my shoulder, that was also a trauma that I was carrying and I wasn't even aware of it, okay? Even though it happened at a physical place, but the things I was doing energetically was, again, like carrying other people's weight and not realizing it. So basically, God is basically saying, let us also lay aside every weight. So if it is not yours, let it go. Stop trying to pull people where you're going. Stop trying to pull your community where you're going, and let people do their own inner healing work. This journey is individual work, not, oh, I'm going to make it and I'm going to bring people with me. No, because there'll be a lot of people attached to your coattail trying to ride your coattail there. And God said, what I got is sacred, and everybody does not have access to it unless they do the inner healing work, period. Okay, so again, stop trying to save people. And it says, and sins which cling so closely, as I said, let go. It's almost like, imagine carrying your luggage in one hand and carrying this big ass trunk in your right hand, or dragging this big ass trunk in the right hand with the world's weight in the trunk, and your all of your stuff in your suitcase in the left hand. That is so unbalanced, okay? So unbalanced. And God was like, no. So it says, and sins which cling so closely, and let us run with endurance the race that is set before us. So run your own race, okay? You don't need to run somebody else's race. You don't need to bring somebody else within your you don't need to drag people with you, okay? Because the people who are for you, if they see you doing that inner healing work, they are also going to do that inner healing work, okay? And the truth of the matter is, they say likes attract like. So therefore, if the last thing you want to do is drag some dead weight behind you, and then when you get to where it is you're going, then you realize, you know what, this is too much of a problem. Like, no, like they're not even on the same page. And then resentment starts to set in, anger starts to set in, because now you starting to resent this person because now you brought them to where you're at. But now it's like they're eating off your table in a sense, but they're not doing the work that you have had to do, okay? So again, it is important to just remember that if God is asking some of you to let go, that's what he's asking you to do. Because again, this next chapter of your life, it's almost like cutting the snake in half in a sense, okay? There's one half over here, there's another half over here, and it's almost like he doesn't want you to take, again, drag old energy into the next chapter of your life, okay? Again, I just heard, like, we can say all day long, oh, this is my friend from blah, 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 blah. Okay, if this is your friend, if your friend really wanted to, and you have to also remember this too, because just what I just heard is, just because someone was your friend in, whether it be elementary school, middle school, or even high school, does not necessarily mean that they're going to be friends with you even after you, graduate from school or graduate from college or whatever. So this is stuff that we need to learn to release and let go. Just because you hold on to your past, it's about quality with God, not quantity, okay? So you can drag as many people from your elementary school, middle school, high school, college school, workplace, performance. It doesn't matter. You can try to drag everybody with you, but God is like, no, it's not about quantity. This is about quality, okay? Quality versus quantity, okay? And with God is sacred. So therefore, God is not going to just allow any and everybody in their presence who basically has not done the inner healing work, because God is requiring everyone to do the inner healing work, okay? Even if you're somebody starting at zero, you have to let go and release attachment. And those people who are meant to meet you there, they will meet you there. If they weren't meant to meet you there, you just got to let it go, because that chapter basically has end. You'll see them in your next life. Okay, that's all I have to say. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and end that there. But I wish you all much love until the next video, and I say bye.